Little impromptu live. Let's see who joins. If anybody joins, I'll talk. If nobody joins, I'll just keep working. Ooh, we got somebody up in here now. Who we got up in here watching? Oh, this is a very, very impromptu live. This is just really for anybody who's got any from theories and questions. I see one person. Oh, what's good, Caleb? Yo, listen, just put this up in the background. Don't let nobody see. This is completely unplanned. I was just felt like being spontaneous right now. I'm working on the breakdown for the season 3 premiere right now on the other screen. I'm not going to show that screen. You probably see a tip of it over here, but I'm just working on some stuff. Wanted to see if I could at least do something a little spontaneous for anybody who's got any from theories or predictions. I can't really talk too much. Yeah. You saw me on Tony's live. I appreciate that. You guys probably saw on the ones who checked out Tony's live, I was like suspiciously quiet during that live. And there was a big reason for that. The reason was because we were talking about things that I already knew the answer to. There's people like, what's gonna happen in season 3. And people were making predictions. And I'm like, yo, I need to shut up. Right. Like I really need to shut up before I get in trouble and say something I'm not supposed to say. Yo, what's going on? What's going on? Say anything I'm not supposed to say and just leak something early. But I did want to at least just throw this together. I'm testing out some new features, some new settings. I wanted to see how many people would be interested. And I wanted to see how many people would be interested and who would join just like in the middle of the day. But Caleb, appreciate you for joining in. Yo, NEU Oasis, new Oasis, new Oasis. I like that. I like that new Oasis. Welcome, welcome. Um, who else we got here? New Oasis again. Mr. Leo G was good, was good. I hope you guys are doing good today. Um, Bitey, yo, welcome to the club, Bitey. I appreciate you hopping in and joining us in the middle of a Monday. Look, this is unplanned. I don't really have like a full agenda out here. And I definitely am going to hold off on sharing my full theory on what is happening in From Town, mainly for two reasons. One of the reasons is I want to put it all together, right? I want to present it in a way that does it justice for you guys. I don't want to just rattle it off the top of my brain. And the other reason is my wife straight up told me, like, I'm going to mess this show up for people if I start sharing this information now. Like this one really feels like it. So I'm still gonna I'm gonna really chill out at least until after the premiere before I put it out there. I might do it sooner. It's a theory that I've been working on in collaboration with E-Man from E-Man's Movie Reviews. You guys probably see us work together sometimes. Um, Me and E-Man are like this. Like we talk every day, and we go in on this show and the mystery of the show in depth all the time. Like we borderline obsess over it. Man, mess it up. Nah, man. Yo, chill, chill, chill. Caleb. I feel you though. What I can do though is I was curious if like anybody wanted to talk about what some of your theories are, or at least talk about some of the things that we can piece together from what we've seen out of the first 2 seasons, that really couldn't use some clarification. Certain things I would be able to talk about, certain things I'm gonna shy away from, but I'm really curious if anybody had any major theories out there. Like some of the theories I rock with, some of the theories I just really don't. I think there's this one theory about aliens and spaceships. And I think I heard a theory like this is in the teaser trailer was the first time we've ever seen a cow in From Town, and cows have something to do with spaceships or something. We've seen livestock in From Town. I even actually found pictures of cows in from season one. So this is, I don't think this is an alien thing. Um, but I am curious what you guys have out there. What are your popular theories that you've seen out there that we will probably just chat about real quick? Again, this is real spontaneous. I don't have nothing really specifically planned. What you got for me, Caleb? So I personally think the boy in white is good, but I don't know. So I talk about this a little bit. I spoke about this a little bit back in season 2 about how I think this show is like a game of good versus evil. And I still think that. I still think that this is a game of like, there's a dichotomy at work here. There's definitely two different people or two different forces opposing each other. The boy in white, I think, is one of those beings that's trying to help. Ethan, yo, if y'all not listening to Ethan, y'all watching the show wrong. Ethan be spitting knowledge every season. He stayed dropping clues and pointing us in the right direction as to what's really going on in this joint. But I do think he's right in that there are forces that are trying to help them. And I think the boy in white absolutely is trying to help them. I think one of the biggest clues was when he pushed Tabitha out the window, he spoke to her and he was like, I forget his exact words, but it was something like, this is the only way. And I feel like he's trying to help more than people give him credit for. I can't remember if I put this theory out there, but I'm going to kind of put this one out there if I didn't already. I do think that the boy in white is more than what he appears to be. I think the boy in white has... So going back to like season 1, there was this scene where Victor was coming out of the young Victor, not old Victor, young Victor. It was a flashback to like when he was hiding in the cellar, and he came out of the cellar and you see the town, and throughout the town, you see like bodies littered all over the floor. And the only thing that was there was the boy in white, and there was like a dog. So the boy in white, I think, was there to try to help or comfort Victor in light of everything that had happened. Something that the boy in white did that was kind of weird, especially for kind of like a spirit creature, was like he waved at him and then he like called him over, and then he sat on the little merry-go-round thing and was like pretending to play with him. And I felt like in that moment, he knew what was going on, right? There's bodies everywhere, but he knew young Victor's psyche like needed a distraction. So in that moment, I felt like the boy in white was absolutely trying to be a force for good. Good. He was trying to be helpful to Victor, so that his psyche just didn't break. So that was my theory on that. There's more to my theory, and I'm probably gonna save a little bit of that for later. But I do want to at least touch on that scene to be a clue as to whether or not this boy is good or evil. Oh, we got some new questions. Who else we got up in here? Yo, thank you all for joining. I see a few more folks coming up in here. Gary Fagan, illegal mods. Jeffrey AAIJ. I'm sorry, man. I don't mean to butcher your name. Apologies. So why were the wires active but hanging in a void? So as far as why the wires are active, I don't have an answer for that one yet. I still don't understand how they're getting electricity to these light bulbs in a weird way. But what I remember about that was that the wires that were dangling, they were hollow. Like, you guys remember that? Like when you looked at the wires at the end of season 1, the wires were hollow. So I think that this is how the monsters listen. I think that they are using the wires and they're hollowed out to actually eavesdrop on the people in the town and listen to what's going on. And that's why they always know what's up in the town. But that's my theory on the wires. I don't know how power is getting to the town. This part still, that part still don't make no sense to me. But I do absolutely think that they were using them to eavesdrop on the residents. But that's a definitely a good question. Yep, thank you all for joining. Oh man, we got 25, 26 people up in here. I didn't even promote. I didn't do anything. I appreciate you all for giving me your time on a Monday. I know you could be anywhere in the world right now. I really appreciate it. I don't know how long I'm gonna be going live for. So we'll see. Dante's Inferno. That's all I'm gonna say. So purgatory, right? Maybe there's definitely a strong case to say that the people here are in one of the different levels of hell, and but I don't think that's the case. I think there's more to it, but I don't think there's the case. I actually have a theory as to what I really think is going on. I know some of you guys saw me post about that. I'm not going to put it out there just yet if you guys are just joining now, but yeah, I'm not going to dismiss the Dante's Inferno one. Who else we got? Jeffrey. What you got for me, Jeffrey? Do you think that this could be more like Wayward Pines? Wayward Pines was a long time ago. I'm trying to remember everything that happened in Wayward Pines. I remember Under the Dome more than I remember Wayward Pines. I remember it was like that weird village and it was like a simulation, right? I think that they eventually found out that the town was just a simulation and it was like a government conspiracy. Is that it? Like, I'm gonna need you to comment and let me know, because I'm not gonna Google it right now. I'm trying to go off of like 10-year-old memories or whenever that was. But I think Wayward Pines, they discovered like it was an experiment, and like it was like some weird town that the government was really manipulating things and making people go through like a simulation. And this is something that Jim talked about in season 2, right? He went through that whole thing with Randall being the only person who wanted to investigate it with him. Like, is this a simulation? That could also be true. It kind of doesn't vibe with everything that we've seen, mainly because like we've seen like wild supernatural things occur in addition to just out of the ordinary things, like the spider bites, the ghost at Abby, people's psych really just breaking down as they visit this town and they hallucinate. That kind of stuff is a little bit, it doesn't fully support that theory. It could be true, you know, they could be getting drugged in the water or whatever, in the food, and it's making them hallucinate. But my thing would be, then how is it controlled? Like, how is it that certain specific people are seeing specific things as opposed to people just, you know, like Jade is seeing the symbol, Tabitha seeing the Ankui kids, Sarah's hearing voices. So it's like, how do they get that specific with the people? I don't want to dismiss the Wayward Pines one, but I need more to really go with that one. But I appreciate you, Jeffrey. I really do. Man, we got a good 30 people up in here. Thank you all. Thank you all. What else we got up in here? I think it's all about perception. Good versus bad can depend on how you perceive things. Yes, I do agree that there is an aspect of perception here. But there's also an aspect of survival, right? People are still getting taken out, and the ballerina cicada creature thing, that thing was evil, right? Y'all can't tell me that dude wasn't evil. He was teasing Boyd, he was giving him hell, like, and that thing seemed pretty evil. And what it was doing to Martin, like, it could still be, let me back up a little bit. It could still be a little bit about what perception is, because even though that thing was doing bad things, it's almost like, is it in its nature to do that? Does that make it evil? Like, if you were swimming in the ocean and you get attacked by a shark, is the shark evil? No, the shark is just doing what it does to, survive. It needs food, it needs sustenance, and you happen to be in the wrong place at the wrong time. So yeah, I do agree that it can be a matter of perception, but let's just say that there's antagonists, right? Good and evil is subjective. So let's just say they're antagonists to each other. They're definitely not on the same side. Merry-go-round Gothic Chick. Yo, thank you so much, Gothic Chick. Yo, Gothic Chick is one of my favorite fans. I really appreciate when she shows up because that means I feel like I'm doing something right. So thank you for stopping by. The Omen. Yeah. Yeah, I can see that. I think that they are definitely touching on a lot of the imagery that inspired the show. They definitely touch on a lot of like Wes Craven stuff. They definitely touch on a lot of Stephen King. You're gonna get a little bit of The Shining. You're gonna get a little bit of, Nightmare on Elm Street. You're gonna get like what feels like the writer's favorite horror movies used as an inspiration for certain moments throughout the town throughout the series. So I do think that was definitely like an homage to the Omen. But you spot on the money there. Thank you again, Gothic Chick. Appreciate you. Um what? What? Yo, I had to put this on screen. What is this? Jeffrey, I think the electricity is gained by methane build of all farts and decaying bodies at Fromville. Like what? You know what? You could be right though, because that scientifically makes sense. But they could also do it from potatoes. I almost want to believe it, but the thing is that they can control the electricity as well, right? Like when they didn't like how they were building that tower and they were using the lamps throughout Colony House as batteries, they blew up the bulbs. They blew up the bulbs, and that one girl caught some glass in her eyes. So, like, I think that there's something more specific going on with the electricity. I don't want to dismiss everything people are saying. I'm not trying to just be here to just like rain on people's theories, but this one we gotta like. This one is just funny. Oh man, Tombsden. Wires is the sign there was nothing on the inside. Yeah, wires is the inside. Typically, when you see these things, there's wires on the inside of what you have in your electrical cord, right? There's usually like copper, right? Is that what they use for electricity? They use copper. But these wires were hollowed out. They were just going down into the tunnels or wherever where I guess the monsters could hear them. But yeah, again, this is my main theory right there as far as what was the purpose of the wires going in. They were just hiding in plain sight. They were just like camouflaging things. And you know what? That was just let's just say, like, if it was like they're really observing the people of town, think of it like that was only the microphones. There still might be cameras. There was that one scene, I think it was like season 2, episode 3, maybe 4, where Jim was sitting in the clinic after the house collapsed on him and he was recovering. He saw that the exit sign started to like flicker, right? The exit sign started to like flicker, and he started to investigate it. But then Tilly came in and was looking for Christy. She wanted to give Christy her medicine to kind of hold on to it for safekeeping. So there could still be more objects of observation. There could still be cameras hidden throughout the town. They could be in the bushes. They could be in rocks. They could be in anything. We do know that they're like always listening. I think the biggest clue to us knowing that they were always listening happened in the From season 3 trailer when we see the cowboy monster, Woody, right? We calling him Woody, Toy Story Woody, like the cowboy monster. Like he like had Boyd hemmed up in the barn, and he was like, "You said this place couldn't break you," and how did he hear that? Right? Like, how did he hear that? Like, Boyd said that when he was right after he broke the music box in that dungeon, and he got out of the dungeon cave thingy, and he's standing in the woods in the middle of the day by himself. You can't effing break, like he was going off, but they heard it. So they're always listening, and they definitely have ways of observing the characters. In addition to what's going on in the house, they got ways to hear what's going on in, it seems like, in the middle of the woods. But yeah, that one is going to be one that sits with people for a while. I think it's going to be up there with like who threw the rope, right? Like everybody still wants to know who threw the rope. So I think that observation, the listening part, that one's going to be sitting it with them for a while. Man, we've been going live for 20 minutes already. All right. Let me not hold you guys up too long. I know it's still Labor Day. You guys probably got stuff y'all want to do with your families and all. If y'all ain't got no barbecues or nothing. But I'm gonna go through a few more of these questions and theories, and let's go into which ones we really rocking with. Oh, here we go. Any idea who the regular humans talking through the phone were? And the way the electricity runs is just weird too. See, the electricity, right? This one stayed coming back up. I think of it like, so let me back up. Who were the regular humans talking through the phone? Were they regular humans? Like, we did see that the monsters are capable of holding a conversation. They can talk to you. They got some riz because they had that dude in Colony House open. Homeboy was leaving flowers out for Shorty every day. He was making a new bouquet. So they can talk. They definitely can talk. They can hold a conversation. And they know everybody's name. They've said that before. We know everybody's name. So when like Jim was on the radio, that to me just gave me more evidence that it was probably one of the monsters finding a way to observe what Jim was doing and kind of try to talk him out of it. Is a possibility that there is more than just the monsters from the forest, though. Martin did give us the biggest clue about that back in season 2 when Boyd met him in, I think, episode 2. And he was like, the monsters are just the tip of the spear. There are things in the forest that are way worse than the monsters. The closest clue we've gotten so far was like potential evidence of a spider monster. We've got the ballerina cicada creature, and we've got more. The cicada creature could hear everything that was going on. He was definitely paying attention to what the people were doing. The monsters, they got those old school teacup and string line phones going into every house. So what would be even worse is if they're working together. I don't have enough proof yet to say that the monsters are working together with like the cicada creature, but if they were, that would be a big help for them. How electricity runs is just weird too. I don't know. I don't know that one. That one's got me stumped. I say one thing, Wayward Pines. Yo, Jeff, I'm not going to discount the whole potential for it being a government thing, but it just feels like that there's more to it. Only, it could be like, the government is experimenting on aliens or humans, and it could be, maybe. I hope it's a little bit more than that, and I have a really, really, really good theory as to what is really going on. But I can't say too much because some of the evidence that I have, I would say like 80% of it is from season 2, maybe like 90% of it is from season 2, but there's definitely a solid 5-10% of it that I did get from season 3. So I'm going to hold off on putting that out there until everybody's had a chance to watch the show before I say something I'm not supposed to be saying or just ruin it, right? Like, one of the things that I used to hate was like when people ruin the magic of the show. Like, you guys ever watch Lost and you finish it from beginning to end, and then you try to watch it from the beginning again, but you already know what that ending was? It's like it kind of ruins the whole ability to enjoy it the same way. So I definitely don't want to accidentally do that. Um, but I'm not going to discount that. But oh snap, we got 32 people up in here. I appreciate you all. Do me a favor. Look, if you guys are here, hit me with a like. That would be a big help. If you're not already subscribe because everybody in this chat will let you know that I'm pretty good with this From Show. Like, I don't mean to pat myself on the back, but I'm pretty good with this From Show. Who's the Kramanakul, yeah? All right. Let me stop. Let me see. Bitey, what you got for me, Bitey? Strange that the wires are not real, but still only work if you plug them in. Strange for sure. I mean, that's possible. I mean, like there's a lot of different ways to fake that, even with the ability of it powering itself. One thing we don't know is what's in the base of these lamps, right? I don't think we've ever seen anybody actually open up the lamp and see what's inside of there. Like maybe there's a battery in there. I don't know. But that it is strange. It is strange. It could be a button, like you plug it in and that's the button. I don't know. I'd like to see someone, we folk, appreciate you for stopping by. What do we have here? I'd like to see someone get past the big tree in the road and see what happens. Yes, I would like for people to get past the big tree in the road, because if they just walk around it and go forward, that's a whole new level of the game we ain't never unlocked yet. I'd also like to see what happens with if people don't look up at the crows. That's all I'm gonna give y'all. But what would happen if they don't look up at the crows? All right. Let me stop playing with y'all. I did have a theory about the trees. I think trees are more than just trees in this show. I think that they're one part symbolic, but one part I did put this one out there. I'll put this out there because I did say it on the live with Teflon. One of the things that Victor told us about the Farway trees the first time we saw them, when he took Ethan in the woods, right? And Jim didn't like that at all. But he took Ethan in the woods, and I remember he like took a rock. Right? He took a rock and he like drew a face on the rock and he dropped it in the tree and it fell from the sky. One of the things that he said was like, you never know where you're gonna go. And I swear he said something about the tree's temperament. Like, it depends on where they want to send you. It's interesting. Like everybody who goes through the tree, when you think about it, they almost go where they're needed most. We saw Julie go in the tree. I think she was the first person who went through the Farway tree after the Colony House massacre. And when she went through it, she ended up in the cellar outside of town, which was far away from danger. And Victor told her that the boy in white said that she needed to go that way. It feels like that there's some intent behind where the trees are sending you. It's not just 100% random. When Victor dropped the rock, he said he didn't know where it was going to go, but it fell right from the sky nearby. I think it was important for Ethan to learn how the trees work. He needed to learn that something mystical or something supernatural was happening here. So it absolutely felt like there's some intent behind the trees. Now, when we go back to that, why am I focusing on the Farway tree? Because trees are a recurring theme of symbolism here. Victor talked about how the trees are moving, right? He said they're getting closer. They're getting closer to where the people are. So why are they getting closer? Is it more like, things are closing in on them, or is it more like when there's a disaster in the wild and the wildlife is moving away from danger? I wonder if the trees getting closer means that there's a bigger threat in the woods that's making them move away from danger. But that is one of my theories with regard to the trees. And it just kind of supports the idea that there's something big going on with the tree, especially with it laid out on the road the way it was. Um, that seems to be the first symbol of something wrong. Okay. All right. We're starting to support my theory a little bit more. I'm gonna have to take note of that because this definitely does support my theory as to what's really going on um, in this show. Jeffrey. Oh, thank God. Yo, appreciate you, Jeffrey, because I couldn't remember. Wayward Pines was a town built in the future where people freezed in to make civilization build in the future. Oh, yes. Oh my gosh, yes. It was like a time capsule, right? And they tried to make people feel like it was still the 20th century and things were still normal, but they were way further in the future trying to recolonize the earth. I don't think we there. I don't think we're there because people are getting taken out every time the sun goes down. Um, could it be time travel? Could it be that they've been taken to another place? Um, I will say that my favorite theory is actually not directly from people in Reddit or YouTube. It's actually from the show itself when Dale, that dude Dale, the one who stabbed Ellis, he said this is a pocket universe. And that by far has been my favorite theory as to what is really happening. I'm gonna leave it alone there. Let me not get too carried away. They also had creatures in the future, people involved into cannibals. Yeah, 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 yeah. Season 1 of Wayward Pines was great. Yo, I love that show. What was it? What was his name? Matt Dillon. That was Matt Dillon. I forget. I really liked that show. I really enjoyed that show. I almost wish that I was YouTubing back then when that show was on and when Under the Dome was on, because I know a lot of us were like obsessed with these type of mystery shows, and they were the ones that definitely were paving the way for shows like Lost and From. Um, but yeah, definitely Wayward Pines was great. If you guys have an opportunity to check that out, I definitely recommend checking out season 1 of Wayward Pines. I think I need to rewatch season 2 to remember about the what we just talked about now with the cannibals in the future. But that was cool. Oh snap, we're getting 34, 36 people. Look, 36 people. I really appreciate y'all. I know it's a Monday afternoon. I didn't plan this. This is an impromptu live. I'm sitting here in the middle of doing my video editing. And I was like, let me just take a break. I saw other people just doing spontaneous lives and I felt inspired. But yeah, I needed to come up for air because this video ended up being a little bit longer than my normal videos for deep dives. You guys probably remember I usually try to keep my deep dives somewhere around like 20 minutes because like I know after watching the show for an hour and I try to keep it at 20 minutes so you can come and unwind with me, but I'm not keeping you for another hour. This one right now I'm at 33 minutes. There's a lot to talk about. Right now I'm at 33 minutes. Yeah, so I know I'm doing a little promotion, but I'm also letting you guys know just how seriously I'm taking this. Appreciate you, Bitey. Who else we got? All right, New Oasis. What you got for me? The government opened the portal. All right, what else we got? Matten. Who's Matten? Matten was fake. He was part of Martin. Martin was fake. He was part of a dream conducted from the boy in white, events he put into motion. I don't think Martin was fake. But I don't think he was there in the way that we're thinking. The reason I don't think he's fake is because I feel like the ballerina monster was feeding on Martin, like he was cannibalizing Martin. And he was feeding on him for God knows how long. He said he stopped counting after years. But what we saw in the cave was that there were skeletons of other bodies, and there were three, right? They come for three. That was part of the nursery rhyme. After he finished devouring the other two people, at least that's what it feels like to me. After the creature was trapped in wherever that dungeon was, and it had those three people trapped in there with him, and he was just been feeding off them this whole time. It's almost like in my opinion, the creature was kind of like, if you guys watch Lord of the Rings, it's kind of like Sauron, right? Sauron has many forms, but when he's weak, he can't take physical form. I felt like this was when the monster was at its weakest. The most he could do was appear as like little worms and just feed off of whatever person was nearby. And I think that whatever trapped him in that dungeon trapped him in there with people that they couldn't save. He ate what he could out of the other two. Martin was the last man standing. If I feel like if Boyd never went in there, that who knows what would have happened to that creature, but it felt like for sure that Martin was real and he was being used as food. Now, the other thing that I want to take into account and why people probably think he wasn't real was when Boyd went back, Martin wasn't there anymore, or at least his body wasn't there. And I think that there's a answer that we've already seen. When Boyd went back, he saw Julie, he saw Randall, and he saw Marielle chained on the wall, even though their bodies were actually still in town and in Colony House. So for whatever reason, that creature was able to make them appear two places at the same time. I think it's something called superposition. It's where you're able to exist in multiple places at the same time. I think this is something along those lines. Obviously, I'm not going to be able to scientifically explain how a fictional creature was able to create put beings in a superposition state. I can't do that. But I do think that they were absolutely appearing in multiple places at the same time. And you saw as soon as Boyd destroyed the box, they went back to their bodies. So I feel like when Martin's life ended, his body, he went back to where he really was. He went back to where he really was. But he was definitely in both places at once, in my opinion. Mike Shriver, yo, you're right. You're right. Yo, everything so far is fantastic. There's some things that piss me off. Right? Like, I can't stand how people aren't talking to each other. I can't stand how they're not working together, especially after Jim said it, right? Like, Jim was speaking for everyone who's watching when he went to Boyd in season 2, and he was like, yo, we need to start working together on this. And Boyd just kind of shrugged him off. Everything is fantastic so far. They're able to do the good pacing, the building excitement. Oh, you got some more. They need to stick the landing when it ends. We don't need another lost debacle at the very last episode of this show. So the good news is that the creators did say that they have an ending in mind. The tough part for me is that they need to know if they're being renewed, right? Like, most times than not, TV shows don't know if they're getting renewed until towards the latter end of the season, unless you're Game of Thrones, right? Then you get renewed before the current season even starts. But that part does keep me a little nervous. Things going on with Paramount also keep me nervous. I know most of us watch it on MGM Plus and Amazon, but I think this show is like Canadian, and I think it's actually a Paramount show from Canada that Amazon licenses through MGM Plus. That's what I think. I don't know the contracts really, but I know in other outside the US, it's aired on Paramount Plus in Canada, and they film in Canada. So my theory is that it's a Paramount Plus original. I can't imagine MGM or Amazon would let this joint go if they knew. But yeah, they definitely need to stick the landing. They have an idea for the ending in mind. I just hope that they get enough time to tell their story. Oh man, all right. Jeez. I didn't expect all this many questions. I'm gonna try to power through some of them. How long have we been going? 40 minutes. All right. I'm gonna try to wrap this up at like an hour or so. But I'm gonna try to power through as many of these as I can. Really appreciate y'all coming through. Do me a favor, if you're new here to the movie blog, give this video a like. Yo, these likes help me. You guys don't notice. I wasn't gonna put this out till season 3, but I've been talking about opportunities I'm able to have. Like last year, MGM did something unprecedented with me. I knew when I first started I only had like 2,000 subscribers. Now we're at like 9,500. That is definitely opening doors. They're telling me straight up, like, YouTube subscribers matter. So if you're new here, please, I know subscribing is not everyone's favorite thing to do. Please subscribe. It's going to help me get more opportunities. The magic number right now, they told me, is 30,000. I don't know if we'll be able to hit that before the end of season 3, but that's what I'm going to aim for. So we're almost at 10,000 now. I've checked the stats. More often than not, there's like 30,000 of you guys watching. Please subscribe. Help me out so I could get these opportunities. Right now, I'm trying to get the cast lined up. You know what? Yeah, I saw what I did in season 2. I'm trying to do bigger things in season 3. Bitey, what you got for me? I think the 3 people in dungeons are batteries for the town. Let me think about that. I'm not going to dismiss it, but let me think about that. I'm going to come back to you, Bitey. I'm going to come back to you. Nino Nev, what you got for me? I said this in other streams, but nobody seems to agree with me. Have you seen the movie The Watchers about fairies and changelings? If so, did you see the similarities? So I didn't see the movie. I did see the trailer. E-Man, from E-Man's reviews. If you guys aren't subscribed to my brothers, go ahead and subscribe to him. He and I work on the movie blog together. The movie blog is more than just a YouTube channel. We're actually a 21-year-old website. Been reviewing films for 20 plus years. He's a regular writer on the movie blog. He did see the movie and he did talk to me about the similarities about the fairies and fays and changelings. And I definitely put this in a theory back in season 2. If you guys haven't seen my season 2 deep dives, do it. Check it out. I have so many theories sprinkled throughout that 10 episode season that I'm starting to go back and break into separate videos, but check them out. I definitely talk about the fairies and the fays and how these creatures do remind me of the folklore of that time. I think it's like Irish folklore. I'm gonna leave it at that. But yes, I do see the similarities. I do agree with you that there's definitely a favorite theory of mine. I've seen it. I appreciate that one. Thank you for that one. Power was flickering because only Martin was left low power. Nah, man, they still have power, right? Even though Martin was gone, right? When Martin was gone before they, well, were they then sucking power out of Boyd when he put the worms in Boyd? Nah, I don't think they were on low power because they were able to do so much in the town, even with this dude. Is he the battery? I'm gonna come back to that. I'm sure you're gonna drop me some more clues, so I'm gonna come back to that. What else we got? Jeffrey, what? It could also be some secret K-pop band controlling them like Squid Games. Maybe. I think it reminds me of Alice in Borderland a little bit more because Alice in Borderland was definitely touching on that, where people were walking into parallel realities and then putting people through all sorts of hell for their entertainment. If you haven't seen Alice in Borderland on Netflix, it's a cool, I think it's Korean. I think it's a Korean horror drama type show. That show definitely inspired a lot of the theories that I had about this show, just because there's so many similarities in how people are transported someplace, they're stuck, they can't go home, things like that. But I would say less like Squid Games, more like Alice in Borderland. What else we got? Bitey. The dog was there and heard Boyd. That may be something. So I got my theories about the dog. So you see me thinking, right? You guys see the gear spinning. Should I say this? Should I not? Maybe. I'm gonna see how I feel. This one, I have my. I like that you brought up the dog. Dog is clutch. The dog is clutch. Gothic Chick 4, that's some Truman Show stuff. Yes, they're being observed. Yes, they're controlling the weather like the Truman Show. Yes. Who else we got? Mike Schreiber. What you got for me? Maybe the wires themselves don't need nothing in them. Maybe the wires themselves harness a power which can turn lights on, electricity, wherever the creators of this crazy town exist. That could be. It could be. I really still want to see them like deconstruct or take apart one of the lamps and see if they're hollowed, what's going on with them. Like they followed the plug from the base of the lamp to the outlet, but I don't think they actually cracked one of them joints open and showed us what was inside. I need to see them try to do that. That's what I really want to see. Let's see. And the humans here don't get affected by touching them, but I bet wherever these beings are from that are doing this, these people could probably die from touching them because it affects their body. Maybe. I want to see. I'm gonna give this theory out. I'm gonna give this one out. So one thing was Ethan, and it always comes back to Ethan, right? Ooh, 38 people. I appreciate y'all. Thank you. God bless you all for giving me your time on a Monday. One of my favorite theories, 38, 39. Hey, do me a favor. If you guys are checking this out, give this stream a like. Give this channel a subscribe. I promise you, bigger and better things are coming if you subscribe. Look, I'm not even monetized, y'all. Y'all notice there's no super chat button, right? I'm not even monetized. This is all for love of the show. If you guys want to support me, you could donate. I got the little ticker going down at the bottom. But let me touch on this. Ethan said back in season 1, when you're on a quest, you have to face your fears. And it's only by facing your fears do they lose their power, right? Something to that effect. And I want to say that was probably the biggest clue, because we haven't really seen the characters go on the offensive with the monsters. The only time we've ever seen anybody go on the offensive, not just like shooting back when they see them coming at them. I mean, like straight up, I'm coming out here to mess with you, was when Boyd had the worms in him in season 2. And when you saw him go outside, like he walked right up to the smiley creature, nobody did nothing. Normally the creatures, like they see somebody, they go full Wolverine on you right away. But when he came out brave, talking his smack, they didn't do anything. All right, that's a freebie. I'm gonna throw that out there, because I'm sure once I put that out there, there's gonna be a bunch of other people taking that and using it for their own theories. Please go ahead, use it. But yeah, I like what you're saying there, because it does hint at that part, and going on the offensive changes things. All right, what else we got? How long we be going? 49 minutes. All right, I'm gonna try to wrap this up soon. The monsters are Wendigo. So I like this theory. I do, because one, the show takes place in Canada, and I think in Marvel Comics, Wendigo only exists in Canada. Like you got to be a cannibal, you got to eat the flesh of a human, and then you turn into a Wendigo. So I kind of like that, just because it obviously I'm a comic book fan. I think I'm gonna shut up. I think I'm gonna shut up. Um, I think I'm gonna shut up. Take that as you will. I think I'm gonna shut up. uh why is Victor so curious about the tree's movements? He said they move 4 inches closer. I touched on this a little bit earlier in the live. I think that we've heard the show tell us, right? I think that the trees are not just trees. One thing that we observe in nature is like if there's like a forest fire, right? You'll notice like if there's a fire in the middle of a forest, animals will come rushing in to escape the danger. They'll come like herding in a single direction. We've heard multiple times that there are bigger threats in the forest, right? Martin said that was just the tip of the spear. Uh, Boyd went out into the forest and he got dragged in his tent and then came across the spider webs that started making him weak. Um, he's curious about the tree's movements because, well, I know one thing about that, but I can't say it yet. But I think he's observing just how things change in town, and how things changing is usually a bad sign. I don't think Victor is of like mind to fully process what everything means, but he does know for sure that if something changes, it's not good. So the trees moving affects, they freak him out. They freak him out. So it's definitely a sign of something bad happening. Oh, hey guys, Mike, I appreciate you. I appreciate you. Look, I really am trying my best to like do my due diligence, my research, and really be entertaining, right? I want to have fun when we do this stuff. So I appreciate you. If you guys could give me a like, if you guys give me a subscribe, if you guys have friends that watch from, subscribe. That's really going to be the biggest thing for me to be able to do more in this channel. Out of love for this show. Again, you guys see, I'm not monetized. There's no super thanks button. There's no, I'm not monetized right now. So if you guys can help me in that way, that goes a long way for me. But thank you, Mike Shriver. I appreciate you. We folk, what you got for me? Do you think the monsters or other entities have some kind of collective consciousness, hive mind communication going on? I don't think that they have a hive mind, but I do think they have pack-like behavior. Now, to kind of address your question properly, I don't have any evidence to dismiss it. I can't say that no, they don't have a hive mind. Um, but I do notice that they do pack like behavior. And what I mean by that is like, wolves operate in packs, hyenas operate in packs, things like that. And something that we've seen the monsters do is they obviously hunt in groups, right? You never really just see them walking around solo. There's never just one at a time, really. Except that one time when the Smiley monster went in the bus, but I think he just wanted to play behind the wheel. But when the cicada creature was attacking Boyd, Randall, and Donna and Jim when they were in the RV in season 2, the monsters surrounded the RV, but they didn't close in. It kind of reminded me of like in the wild, if like hyenas are hunting, but they see a lion come by and it takes their food, and they'll wait, right? Like they'll stand around on the perimeter and observe, and then they'll come and take the scraps. I do think that they have more like pack-like behavior, but I'm not going to dismiss the hive-like mind yet. I need more evidence for that than anything. Let's see. Anticipation is always better than the payoff. Yes, it is, Bitey. Yes, it is. Oh, Gothic chick, you have a good point. Jade didn't see the crows. Didn't he? So what we do know is that when Jade and Toby were coming into town, we saw Jade passed out in the back seat. but we don't really know when he passed out. I'm hoping that they eventually give us a flashback showing Jade and Toby coming to town. But right now, we don't know that for sure, right? We do know that Jade mentioned that Jade kind of gave a hint that he might have been awake. There was a scene, but no, I sound like an encyclopedia. There's a scene in season 2. Bacta, the bus driver, she was sitting in the bar, drinking by herself, trying to forget her problems, and she was like, Elgin told me to turn around, and I didn't turn around. And Jade was like, "Well, when did he tell you to turn around? Was it before or after you saw the tree? If you saw the tree, then you were screwed." That kind of gave me the hint that maybe he saw the tree too. Because in season 1, when he was talking to Kenny about how everybody came from different places, he said it was crazy, but he didn't really say anything about not seeing the tree. So I'm a put a button in that. I need to see the tree. Oh, look, E-Man's calling me. He probably is like, "Yo, you going live? E-Man, I'm gonna hit you in 1 second." Yep, that's my cue to start wrapping this up, because I gotta talk to my homie. And talk more about From. Don't look up at the cows while driving. The crows. Don't look up at the crows. They don't lose cell reception until just before entering town. They seem to not be in when they first see the tree in the road. Yes. 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 I know what you meant, Bitey. I know what you meant. Edwin Gonzalez. Yo, Edwin, welcome to the channel. I don't think I've seen you here before. Welcome to the channel. I hope that you check us out. I hope you like these theories and this conversation. If you're not already subscribed, hope you subscribe. But when Victor drew the smiley face on the rock and then put it in the tree, the rock came back with a different smiley face, which tells you something happens to whatever goes through the trees. We talked about this a little bit in the live with Teflon, and I think we're giving the show a little bit too much credit, just a little bit too much credit. Because you got to remember, like, this is a show on, like, it's not on one of the top 5 major networks that we usually think of. I feel like, and I did speak to the actors about filming, and they did tell me, like, they're usually filming like multiple episodes at once. You never know what scene you're going to be in and where, and they don't really know how things are going to line up until they watch. I want to say that this might have just been a production error, kind of like when you see the Starbucks cup in Game of Thrones. I feel like, they came back the next day, like they started filming that scene one day, it got dark, they had to come back the next day, somebody lost a rock, and they just did another one. That's kind of what it felt like to me. But I think that's just like we gotta also stay in the realm of like intent with writing and intent with production, right? Like, I don't think the writers are going to really try to make the show, like, they're making it hard, but I don't think that they want to take it out of the realm of understanding or believability. Otherwise, people ain't going to really check for it, right? They got to keep it somewhat approachable. So that is an interesting observation, but I think that one could be just a production error. That's what I think. But I appreciate you for that observation, because that is a deep cut that a lot of people didn't notice the first time going through the show. What else we got? Oh man, we have 59 minutes. I got a lot more comments. All right, let me try to power through. Did you find any clues via closed caption? Yes, one of the main things that I learned through closed caption is that Kenny and his mom speak Cantonese. That was one clue I found out. They speak Cantonese, and I thought that was kind of interesting. But I only found that out through the closed captions. Another thing is that a lot of times when I'm watching these episodes, I don't have closed captions. Like you guys might have saw my deep dives. Like the videos that I had didn't even have finished effects. Like the cicada creature was just a bunch of white dots floating on the screen. Like the when they opened up Smiley, the effects weren't done. When they showed the like, I don't get finished stuff. So I'm studying like ahead of time with what I can hear, and I'm usually just rewinding a lot. All right, let me see what else we got. Bitey, did everyone see everyone debunk the closed caption that he called the dog Gus? Closed caption was wrong. I didn't see that. Because I definitely wrote down the name Gus in my rewatch. I was like, oh, it's Gus. All right, well, I like that he debunked that. I need to ask Harold some questions. I recall Boyd saying his tremors had stopped since Martin infected him. He did. He said that. You're right. So we also know that Martin was chained into a dungeon for God knows how long with no food in sight. So I want to say that when the creature is inside someone, that it seems to have some sort of healing properties. So you're right. What else we got? Does his tremors return once he killed Smiley Face? It's hard to tell. I'm trying to remember. He killed Smiley in like episode 6. I'm gonna have to check and see. I don't remember. I honestly don't remember. I'm gonna have to check and see. If anybody else does remember, please just let us know in the comments. We putting the clues together, right? I think it was the spider bites that cured him. Maybe because it was all so close together, right? He got the spider bites in episode 9 or 10, and then immediately after he met Martin and got worms in him. So we really don't know. I think one of the major assumptions a lot of people make is that, and we've already heard the show tell us not to be true, but a lot of assumptions people make is that there's only one threat. A lot of people assume there's only one threat. Leave it at that. Let's see. No, he still had the tremors. Then he was in a bad way when he got bit. That was before he went into the tree and met Martin. Okay, because he got bit, and then he was walking with Sarah for a while. It started to rain. They started to hear like horns in the background. I don't remember exactly him tremoring or shivering, but I won't dismiss it. I'm a rock with you right now, Michael. I appreciate you. I can see the similarities with the watches. Yeah, I want to say Ashana definitely took inspiration. I want to say that people in the film industry, in the TV industry, are taking notice of From, because right now From is like how like when there's like a really popular show, all of a sudden a bunch of TV shows do something similar. Like The Walking Dead came out, and then all of a sudden there's like a whole bunch of other zombie or zombie adjacent shows on television. I feel like From is one of those shows that can be taken advantage of in a little bit because it's on a network that isn't as well known. And like if a filmmaker, a TV show writer, somebody sees this, they could borrow stuff, right? Like, you know what? I think this would work great in a movie, or I think this would work great in a comic book or whatever. And they can borrow stuff. And, you know, ain't nobody going to really, who's going to say anything, right? But I do see the similarities, right? You can't go to sleep at night in that show. I heard. I definitely want to watch that movie. Horror fan, I appreciate you. How you doing? How are you doing today? I hope your Monday is going good. I hope you guys are enjoying yourselves. I hope everyone's having a beautiful Monday. You're looking good. You're feeling good. You're enjoying this day, and I appreciate you all giving me a little bit of your time on this Monday. All right, we're around that hour mark. Let me power through some of these. Dog means bad shit gonna happen, methinks. I disagree. I think the dog is a sign of help. And I'm gonna stop there. Oh, yes, Bitey. Like and subscribe. I appreciate you all. We have 34 people watching. I think there's been like 40, 50 people going in and out across YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. I appreciate you all if you guys are watching on Twitter. Matter of fact, let me see, because I don't think it shows me chats from Twitter on here. Let me just see how many people are watching on Twitter real quick. It shows I'm live. Does it show how many people are watching? Oops. Real quick. Oh, it's like, oh, there's a solid 6 people. I appreciate y'all from Twitter coming in and giving me some time on your Sunday. Thank you. But yes, please like, subscribe, follow. I'm going to be doing lives. So the show is going to be a Sunday show, it looks like, from now on. And I decided that I'm going to do lives primarily Monday nights. I think Monday nights is enough time to give people to watch the show and still talk about things while it's fresh. And it's also going to be in addition to the deep dive. So I'm going to do the deep dives where you're going to still get the main meat of my theories, my breakdowns, things like that. But then we're going to come over here on live afterwards to help decompress. So yes, like, subscribe, come back. You don't want to miss this. Can a phobia be a fear? I think phobia is a fear, right? It's that uncontrollable fear of something specific like spiders or closed in places. So yeah, absolutely. Michael, what you got for me? Something I don't hear discussed is the healing of people in the show. Boyd's son got stabbed and healed real quick. Jim healed up pretty quick. Yeah, no, people are healing up very fast. I think we all forget also just how much time has passed in this show. Like, we don't really give a lot of good indicators of time being passed. I think the best thing that we have is the sign that Boyd keeps outside his sheriff's station, which is days without incident. I think they went like months without incident until the 2 cars showed up. And then since then, it almost feels like every episode is roughly 1 day, sometimes 2. So out of the 2 seasons, it almost feels like it's been like anywhere between 2 weeks to a month at most. But yeah, not only are people healing up very quickly, anyone else notice how quickly Jade's beard is growing? Like when he showed up in episode 1, he was clean faced. And then by like episode 3, he was rocking a full goatee. So Ellis didn't just get stabbed and heal quick. My man broke his arm, right? He fell off the top of Colony House escaping monsters, and he broke his arm and healed up. He got stabbed and healed up. Ethan had a leg, a piece of a metal rod impaled through his leg and healed up. Yeah, Jim broke his rib and healed up. People are healing really, really quickly. I definitely have noticed that. Almost like you're fattening up a pig. Victor said that change was bad. Yes, change is bad. Very, very bad. Oh, Carmen Jackson, thank you so much for stopping by. I appreciate you. This is your first time on the channel? This is your first time? Whoa! Look, do I want to give away? Look, I haven't done this in a while. I should do a giveaway. I have a bunch of stuff I've been meaning to give away. Yeah, I should do a giveaway. Tell you what, I'm gonna probably pick a random person that comments. Even you, Carmen, because you're in on this. An option to win a prize from me. I have a bunch of. You guys know I do obviously but I'm also a movie critic. I get a whole bunch of stuff that's movie related for free. Like this, I don't know what to do with this. Right? It's cute. It's taking up space on my office though. These are the type of things that I want to give away. I have some for anybody who's fans of Blue Eyes Samurai. I went to a Netflix event recently and they were able to give me some Blue Eyes Samurai posters. I got some chopsticks. I got some fans. I got a whole bunch of movie related stuff. I definitely want to give away something. I really appreciate you coming in and checking this out, Carmen. Let's see what else we got. Some timey-wimey stuff going on. Yeah, there is. You right. What else we got? I see some chat going back and forth. Does anyone have any idea why the monsters have evolved in the new season? I just got in here. It's too icy. First off, welcome. I appreciate you stopping by. It's too icy. I'm sure people are going to comment on this as well, but why did the monsters level up? The monsters leveled up because the players leveled up. I've been saying for a while that this is almost like a game. All my game heads, you guys are going to probably get my terminology a little bit better. Everyone else, please just stay with me. When you're playing like an RPG, or better yet, like a real-time strategy game, right? You have those games where you have people who play roles. There's people who play the role of like the hero. There's the person who's like the magician. There's the person who's the thief. Everybody plays a role. And then as you go through the game, you progressively level up and gain more skills. But as you level up and gain more skills, you also come across new enemies. And sometimes your old enemies get more, they level up with you. I feel like that every time Boyd goes into the forest, they're leveling up. Every time he went into the forest, something good happened. I think the first time he went into the forest, he came back with like goats or something, right? He was like, yo, there's chickens and goats out. Did anybody go out? They were like, no. Like, why would we go out there? That's where the monsters are. But he went out there, he would come back with something. And every time he did, things got a little better for them. But then after a while, I think they hit a certain level and things started to get worse. I think the main thing they did that made the monsters change their pattern was he went into the forest, came back with those worms in his body, and it kind of changed the dynamics of who was the apex predator and their approach to hunting for these people. If you remember, one of the things that Boyd mentioned was how the monsters, when they first got to town, they used to shriek, right? They used to scream and shriek. But as the people had the talismans and they would be able to stay in the house at night safely, the shrieking stopped. They changed their behavior. So I think that every time that Boyd goes out into the forest, or anybody goes out into the forest, something happens where they level up. But I'm gonna leave it at that for now because I'm feeling myself going in the wrong direction with my conversation again. All right, who else we got? Michael Lamont, what do you mean evolved? I think she means leveling up. Like, why are they smarter now? Why are they changing their patterns in the way that they're hunting the people? So I think that's what she means. But oh, here we go. They were so close to Boyd without eating him, or when they did torture scene, I don't know. It feels like they're different now. I'm gonna shut up. I'm gonna shut up. We Folk, thanks Anthony, it's been great. Appreciate all you do. Thank you, We Folk. I appreciate you. You guys are making this fun. I didn't know if you guys were going to come out. I just decided to go live spontaneously. I honestly didn't know who was going to come, and this is going way better than I really thought it would. So I really appreciate you all giving me your time. I gotta hear your theory now. No. No. I want you all to enjoy it. Like, I told my wife my theory. I said it to her a couple days ago. I went through it all and I was like, yo, I think this, and this. Here's my evidence. Let's put this over this and let's put it all together. We did some more research to like kind of support some of the things that I had an idea of, but I wasn't sure about. And it started to line up. So I do have a theory and I do think I solved the show, y'all. I can't take full credit because I do work on this theories with my friend and brother, buddy, E-Man from E-Man's Movie Reviews. You guys can check him out on YouTube. He's I got to call him back so we could talk through some of this theory some more. But I'm not sharing this now. My wife said straight up, she doesn't want to hear any more of my theories because she's still trying to enjoy the show, right? She's in the forums too. So I'm gonna shut up. I don't want to ruin it for her or for you guys. Yes, they have tortured before. Yes. 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 Sarah mentions he, them, and it must be different voices talking to her. Yes, she said that there's different voices. Like she said before, like, she had the one voice that told her to take out Ethan. She had a voice that told her where Father Khatri buried I think it was a chocolate bar. But then she also heard the boy in white, right? At the end of season 1, when she put Boyd in the Farway tree, the boy in white was talking to her, but his mouth wasn't moving. So she's definitely hearing different voices. What are your thoughts on Fatima and her baby? Like, do you think it's a monster to replace Smiley? There's something real suspicious about the fact that she was not supposed to be able to bear children, but then she's pregnant? Right? It's a little weird, right? A little strange. Victor don't like the dog. It's the only time I've seen him get the gun out to scare them off. So Victor you guys are driving me nuts. Y'all know I can't say stuff, right? I can't say too much. He was also agitated. We found the picture of the dog. I'm gonna say this. Victor is going through a lot of post-traumatic stress. He's been there since he was a child, and he has forgotten a lot of things, whether intentional or unintentional. We do know that the dog appeared right after he came out of the cellar during a massacre, the one where his mom left him. And that could be a trigger for him, right? He comes out, he sees everybody he was cool with, their corpses everywhere, and the only thing standing there is a dog. So if Victor is going through post-traumatic stress, that could be the sight of the dog could be a trigger for him. It could be a trigger for him. 96 days. It's been about 3 weeks. Yes. Yes. It's not very long, especially for people who've been stabbed, broken arms, impaled in the leg. It's not very long. Or growing a beard. I know these ain't easy to grow. What else we got? All the years are in the lighthouse have a total solar eclipse. Does that mean there's going to be an eclipse in season 3? That year is already written in the lighthouse. That's a good one. So a solar eclipse may have something to do with it. I'm going to leave this one out there for the for the theorists. I don't want to touch on this one. I don't want to. I want to, but it's too soon. Um, but that is a very, very fascinating. You know what? This is going in the notebook. You guys are going to see this season a lot. The notebook. Thank you for that. That is a big help. Oh, matter of fact, let me make sure I put you down because I do like to give credit when certain things are my theories and when they're not. So this is an observation that Edward Gonzalez gave me. If any of this ever comes up in my content, I'm definitely going to be sure to give you credit. I appreciate that. Oh man, damn, we still going. Damn. How are we here? How are we here? It's an hour and 20 minutes. I said 1 hour, y'all. Oh, all right, let me see. Let me try to power through this. Yeah. You know, ain't nothing good happening in this town. Mm-mm. No. No. Blue Eye Samurai was fire. Yes, it was, Caleb. Look, I got some Blue Eye Samurai posters, and I've got, I think, like 3 of these chopsticks. And you know what's cool? I don't, some of the stuff be like cool. Some of the stuff just takes up space. I thought this was cool. They gave me this Blue Eye Samurai like fan. It's like, this is kind of cool. Like if you look at it, like there's some really cool intricate detail into it. It's fully made out of wood. They definitely were like spending some money over at Netflix when they gave me this thing. It's like a little satchel. Definitely isn't something I see given out to the public. It was just an invite only thing over at I think I was at Soho House in New York when I went to it. They were trying to promote their Emmy campaign. The show got nominated for Emmys for Best Animated Feature. And I've been torn about this one because it's going up against X-Men 97. And I love both shows a lot. But that going off on a tangent. Going off on a tangent. Who's the next person to come into town after the massacre Victor survived as a kid? That I don't think we know. I don't think the shows actually showed us who came next, right? All we know is that there were other people there at some point, and that Victor had been there the longest. I don't think we've actually seen anybody that came to town after the massacre. Christopher and all of them, they were part of that bunch. So I don't think we've actually seen anybody. Yes, I was wondering if there's going to be a total solar eclipse in season 3. Then it's already been predicted in the lighthouse. A lot of things have been predicted, right? I'm still waiting for the flood, right? A lot of people still waiting for the flood. And in the drawings, in Victor's drawings, we still haven't seen like the boogeyman monster, right? There's like this one giant monster that was real dark with red eyes. And unless he was saying that was the ballerina cicada creature, I don't think we've seen that one yet. Yeah, there's a lot going down. One thing I am going to ask if I get the opportunity, and I'm telling you guys, subscribers is how I get these opportunities. But one thing I will ask is how many seasons do they have in mind? Right? Because like I know we're sitting here like 3 seasons in, and we're like, well, you guys are 2 seasons in. I'm into season 3. But we're like, yo, what is the, we know that they have an ending in mind, but is there a timeline? Are they trying to do this for a preset amount of years? Like, what do they have in mind? So I'm curious. Donna has to be holding back information. Nah, I don't believe that. A lot of people think Donna is suspicious, and look, I could be wrong, but one thing I think people people are projecting onto Donna because she has this mother hen behavior. Like she's like so strong and she's so capable, but everybody's ignoring Donna's been breaking down. Like when you think about it, really, Donna has cried a good amount of times. Like she's freaked out. Like when they wanted to build the tower in Colony House, and I think Kenny came to the house and he was like, "Yo, I'm gonna grab some people. We want to go to the barn. I'm gonna get some wood to help secure the antenna on top of Colony House." Donna freaked out, grabbed an axe, and started going crazy on the kitchen floor. Like Donna, I think people I think we need to take in everything that is happening with Donna and then make a theory about her. Not just looking at her strength, but also looking at her moments of weaknesses and putting that into context. Because when it comes to character writing, and if I was the writer, this is showing like how an alpha woman breaks. But I appreciate you, Thrice Great. I appreciate you. Let me see what else. What else we got before I let you guys go? Oh man. Okay. Virgin Mary was pregnant from God, and Fatima is pregnant while she can't be. Nobody talks about the Bible references when no Bible is present and the priest was writing verses. Yes. So I am going to get into that in season 3 because there's something I need you guys to see in order for me to explain it. I'm a God-fearing person. I absolutely do see the symbolism present in this episode. But I definitely need to wait until you guys see something specific in season 3 before we talk about that. Good catch. Man, Jeffrey, you're doing good right here, Jeffrey. I see you. Somebody get this man to spill the tea. I can't do it, yo. I can't do it. This one theory that I have for the show, I'm going to take my time. I'm going to present it properly. It's not just my theory. It's a lot of it is my theory, but I do work on my theories with E-Man from E-Man's Reviews. If you guys aren't familiar with E-Man, go ahead and check him out. He's a wonderful YouTuber. He's an excellent movie critic. He's a good friend of mine. I need to call him back so we can finish this theory. I'm like 30 minutes late. I'm not spilling the tea just yet. You're my favorite channel to hear from on this show. Don't be nervous to go live. Yo, I'm sorry. Look, a lot of times it's just a change. I don't know. Like, I'm so used to just doing stuff pre-recorded and I get to behave however I want. I get to do all my little graphics and it's just a change. I'm getting used to it. I appreciate you. This is a big help. One thing I'm going to try to do for anybody that's in New York is I'm trying to plan potentially a watch party. I'd love to do a watch party with either the season premiere or the season finale from season 3. So we could all watch it together. But I have to, I'm waiting to see if I can. Honestly, I don't want to say too much, but I just got to see if I can. Fun to discuss. Just keep yo, we've been going for like 90 minutes. I was in the middle of editing, right? I'm in the middle of video editing right here, right? You guys see this little thing right here, that's my video editor. I was in the middle of video editing. I was just like, let me just take a quick break and let me try something in the middle of the day. I didn't even think anybody was going to come through, but I appreciate y'all. Let let me go through a couple more. Let me go through a couple more. Um, who you think dwells in the buildings behind the three voodoo-looking scarecrow things? I'm not touching that. I'm not touching that. I'm not touching that, y'all. She's sus. Yeah, I mean, look, you know, when you're in a nightmarish town like this, who isn't sus? Honestly, who's not sus? I think I've been saying for the longest time, I used to say Mrs. Lou was sus. And I still think she's sus. Because like she's always sitting there making people tea. She's always the one preparing the food. Everybody comes by as her diner. Everybody thinks highly of her. You know, if there was a mole, she would be the perfect person. She's the one feeding them. She's the one that could find them at their most vulnerable. So yeah, I'm with you though. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. Uh, Harold was told by the showrunners that the show doesn't start rolling until season 3. Trying to decide if I want to touch on this. Season 3 comes out on September 22nd on MGM Plus. Paramount Plus in Canada. That's it. Donna lied about her sister. That makes story make it doesn't. What part of her story don't make sense? Bitey, I'm gonna need you to add context to that. I need you to give me a little bit more as to why you think her story doesn't make sense. But yeah, let me come back to me in the comments. Come back to me in the comments and let me know what you think about this. Doesn't make sense. Edward Gonzalez, this is awesome. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate this. Look, I appreciate you guys coming out. I know that it's a Monday for a lot of us. It's our day off. We could be doing anything in the world. So, you know, I definitely appreciate you all giving me your time. Right. I know how valuable time is. No amount of money could buy 1 second of time. So I do appreciate you all giving me your time on a Monday just to talk about our favorite show from. But yeah, I'm enjoying myself. I'm having way more fun than I thought I was going to have. I honestly didn't know what to expect when I hit the go live button. I am learning so much. I'm learning so much. Dude, there was a solar eclipse during the years. You the MVP right here. You the MVP right here, Edward. I didn't know that. Anybody else? You the I need you to come back. Okay, I'm gonna need you to come back. I'm gonna try to do this, like I said, Mondays after the episodes air. I think it's gonna be a Sunday show. I'm gonna go live on Mondays. Unless anybody wants to do like a Tuesday, I could do Monday or Tuesday, but I just had in my head Mondays would be best. I'll probably put a poll up so this way we could just vote. But I want to do it in the evening. I want to try to avoid any responsibilities people have. I don't want you to be like, nah, man, I got to watch wrestling. I want to like have you guys when you're like fully focused and locked in to talk from, and you've had enough time to watch it. You know, I don't know how many people watch it live versus how many people watch it on demand. So I want to give you all some time. She was skinned by the monsters. Thank you for coming back with that, Bitey. So Donna's sister was skinned by the monsters. Never seen that. And you don't scream all night after being skinned. You go unconscious and die. We've seen the monsters do weird things with bodies. We've seen them. We've seen people lose limbs. We've seen people. We've seen people get tortured. Right? That girl. What was her name? The girl who had the metal rod going through her head, pinned to the tree. I forget her name. I know it began with like a J. But Kelly. Oh yes, Brian and Kelly. Yes, Brian and Kelly. Thank you, Bitey. I appreciate you. Kelly, she was pinned to the tree, but she didn't get gutted. And I don't think we saw Brian's body, right? So I can't dismiss her story just based off of the fact that we're not used to seeing them skin people. We've seen them like I remember the bartender, his body when we had that quick little glimpse of it outside of Jim's house, his body looked weird. Like his skin was laying flat, flush against the ground, like there wasn't any sort of skeleton in it. They do weird stuff to the bodies. So I can't dismiss it just off of the fact that, we see them not. It sounds like something that they would do. They used to shriek. They gutted people from the inside out. It seems like sometimes when we see some of the bodies laying on the ground, like bones are missing or hollowed out. I can't dismiss her story just yet, especially since so many people's stories that we have seen seem similar. Right when Boyd showed up, it was dang near dark, and Father Kotri ran out in the middle of the road and stopped their car, and he was like, yo, pleading with them, like, yo, if you don't come with me right now, something bad's gonna happen. And Donna was hiding in the hole with them. Her, Dale, Father Kotri, and this feels to me like his approach might have been, and I don't want to say a response, but they were like, you know what, when people come to town, we got to give a little bit more effort to saving them. She just happened to come at night, so I don't think she had much of a chance, but I can't dismiss it just yet. Thrice great. Donna gave that speech for Fatima's party. She kept saying how she was special. Then boom, she's pregnant. Kind of sus. Everybody loves Fatima though, right? She's like, when you remember Fatima, like she's always that. She's that source of optimism in Colony House. People gravitate towards her because she's just so positive. She's always so like when she welcomed Julie and she was Julie's proxy, like people were walking up to Fatima. Like first off, I was saving this for my season 3 stuff, but what happened to Fatima's girlfriend? What happened to Fatima's girlfriend? Right? Did we forget about her? Like Fatima had a whole girlfriend, and also when she told Donna that she was pregnant, first thing Donna was like, "Oh, I couldn't. I'm sorry, I didn't get to see the look on Ellis's face when you told him." And Fatima was like, "I didn't tell him," and she was like, "It's his, isn't it?" And then Fatima was like, "Of course," but you know, I've been getting very poly vibes from Fatima throughout this show, right? She had a girlfriend. Donna questioned whether or not the kid was Ellis's. And not only that, when Julie decided to move in the Colony House, she didn't get her own room. Like they straight up gave her a space in Ellis and Fatima's room. If that's not grooming, I don't know what is. Like they straight up took this teenage girl and was like, "Here, stay with us." What? Nah, at the foot of our bed. As a couple, look, I don't even let my kids in my bedroom. Don't come up in there, right? Grown stuff going on. Don't come up in here. So the fact that they had Julie sharing a room with them and her bed was like at the foot of their bed. But I'm gonna stop there. She's a special woman. They use their bile to dissolve the innards. Maybe because it's only the organs that are missing, right? It's not like they have holes in their body where the bile drip through like acid through the rest. Like you can still see the whole rib cage, or at least the frame of where the rib cage was. So maybe, I need a little bit more there. What you got for me, Caleb? Didn't she die in the Colony House massacre? Fatima's. I don't know. I don't know. I haven't seen her. Right? Like I don't know. A lot of people got in the Colony House massacre, but I don't know. I will say that what they say? How many people got in the Colony House? It was like 12. It was like 12 or 13 people. But I just don't know who those 12 or 13 people are. Victor was only expecting 6. He dug 6 graves, but 12 or 13 people got. And then 25 people showed up on the bus. With 2 of them, at least, I don't know how many people from the bus got taken out, but I'm going to guess like half of them. 14? Is that 14 people who got, or 14 people? Let me say that again. 14 people got from the colony. I'm trying to use my words carefully because I don't want YouTube to like shut this down for saying the wrong words. But was it 14 people unalive from Colony House, or 14 people from the bus that got unalive? That's what I'm trying to remember. Oh, Donna said she lost 14. Okay, so 14 people got lost from Colony House. 25 people showed up on the bus. I know at least 4 of them got taken out, so that's 21. That's a delta of 7. I don't know. All right, let me see. What else? We running out of comments? All right, let me see this last one. Michael Lamont. Fatima's girlfriend was a red shirt. Fatima's girlfriend was a red shirt? Did we see her body? I don't remember. I've seen a lot, and I remember a lot, but I don't remember like if they showed us who specifically got unalived from Colony House. Vladimir, I appreciate you, Vladimir. Vladimir, where are you from? You like that? Where are you from? No, you're on YouTube. Okay. All right. I appreciate you. Thank you for stopping by. What do you have? Great character analysis of Fatima. I believe that is exactly why she was made to get pregnant. From wants to use that baby to break her later by taking it away. She's already starting to crack. Yeah, Fatima started showing signs of cracking the moment she found out she was pregnant. I'm going to go into that more when season 3 starts, because I think that is an important observation, as well as with what we're seeing from Donna. Because people are starting to crack. And I think that there's an intent behind it. But I'm going to leave it at that. Oh, you from the UK. All right, Vlad, I appreciate you checking in with us from the UK. It's got to be late for you. It's like 8 p.m. there now, right? 8 or 9 p.m. Thank you for checking us out. I think the show, does From come on in the UK, or is it called Origin? I know in overseas it's got a different name. But I appreciate you checking this out. If you haven't already, please do me a favor. Like, subscribe. Subscriptions is what I'm going to be using as my currency, so to speak, to get more opportunities for us this season. Last season, MGM did a unprecedented thing for me when they allowed me to speak with the cast of the show, even though I only have like 1,600 subscribers. Now I've got like, we're almost at 10,000. I think we're like a couple hundred short of 10,000. 30,000 is the goal. Like 30,000, and it's like keys to the kingdom, right? 30,000 is what I need to try to get opportunities, so we can try to solve this together. You guys know, like, a big thing for me, something I like to do after my deep dives is, like, I think I was doing like little surprise guests from the cast after every episode. Think along those lines. Red shirts and Star Trek. Yo, oh my gosh, you're right. Oh my gosh. Woo, went right over my head. Oh, I'm so embarrassed. I'm a huge Star Trek fan too. I'm so embarrassed. You're right about that. Star Trek, she turned up for the mission, got unalived. You're right about that. Yo. Yo, I appreciate that. Kenny, the thrice great. Yeah, Kenny, yo, Kenny's going through a lot. Kenny's going through a lot. He lost his dad and then his girl. Kenny's going through a lot. And I said it before, it almost feels like we're seeing his villain origin, right? Like, how many things is he going to lose before he goes full Christopher on the town or full Abby, right? Like, what is it going to, how much more can he take? 8 p.m. Yeah, man, I'm locked in. Keep it going. I appreciate you, Vlad, man. Look, I'm going to go for a little bit longer. I done already said I was only going to do an hour. We're an hour and 45 in. I'm gonna try to wrap this up in like 15 minutes, though. But if you guys didn't see the beginning, yo, we went through some jewels in this video. We went through some jewels. I need y'all to go ahead, rewind the video, watch it over. A lot of cool stuff that we touched on in this theory breakdown. Not even breakdown, just live chat about theories and predictions. What are my thoughts on Elgin? Okay. Whew. Somebody asked the right question. Elgin. So Elgin is different. Elgin is different. I talked about the commonalities that Elgin had with some of the characters in the show. Like Elgin, so certain people when they come to town, or certain people that we've seen in town, have had seizures, right? You guys might remember when Ethan came in the RV, he had the metal rod in his leg. He started seizuring, right? And then he saw the boy in white. We saw then later that Sarah, she was in the diner. She was making some food or something. And then out of nowhere, she saw on her wrist, the words, "Take out the boy." And then she started to seizure on the floor. And then she saw the boy in white. Elgin is different, though, because he did seizure, right? He got to From Town. He walked, took 2 steps off the bus, fell to the ground and seizured. But he said he saw the boy in white before he seizured. And he said he saw the boy in white in a dream. I don't want to say too much, but I'm going to say this. One thing that really stood out to me was the moment he was in the church with Sarah. And he saw Sarah. He was acting real sus. Like Elgin's been acting real sus. Like he walked in the church and he saw Sarah was sitting there by himself, and he was like, "Oh, I didn't know anybody was in here. My bad." And most people, I feel like instinctually see somebody sitting there privately would give them back their privacy. Instead, Elgin decided to close the door behind him and walk further in, not even asking if she wanted company. So that right there was real sus to me. Another thing that was a little bit weird about Elgin was let me back up a little bit. Elgin knew that there was a body of water and he wanted to see it. And then they took him to the Brundles. We had only seen the Brundles one other time back in season 1 when they took Julie there. When she first got to Colony House, she was like freaking out. She was like, maybe I made the wrong decision. And Fatima and Ellis took her to the Brundles, the lake that the Colony House people swim in, or pond or whatever it is. And that was the only time. So they're definitely planting seeds about the Brundles. They're definitely planting seeds about water with Elgin. But the most interesting thing that happened to me in season 2 with Elgin was when he started talking about his grandmother. They were like, he said he was on the bus. He visited his grandmother every weekend. He used to spend every weekend with her as a kid, and he was going to see her again. And I'm still not sure if his grandmother was alive or not when he was going to visit her. Like maybe he was going to go visit her grave or something. But what he talked about with Sarah was about trinkets. She was talking about how her brother Nathan and her had these like Christmas ornaments, and they had so many ornaments they could fill up like 3 Christmas trees and have enough left over. And then he talked about how he used to crochet with his grandmother, and he always crocheted owls. It was always owls. And he would even try to talk to his grandmother, like, hey, grandma, don't you want to make like a turtle, a rabbit, something? And she was like, no, I only want to make owls. I think there's something significant about that. There's something significant about the fact that she was only making owls. Now, you know, a lot of people, like I talked to some of my friends about it, and they were like, you know, depending on Elgin's background, I don't know what his background is, but we did admit that like in Caribbean backgrounds, like it's not out of the ordinary to have like a figure or a totem or some sort of object that you used to have for spiritual or superstitious reasons, like, oh, this is my thing to ward off evil spirits. And I always felt it was intentional that they highlighted and emphasized the fact that she made owls. I feel like Elgin having visions about the town before he got there, seizuring, having visions before he got there about the boy in white, and then seizuring, and then also bringing up this stuff about owls. There's something very suspicious about Elgin, but I don't think it's. I need more evidence to say whether or not it's a good or a bad thing. He's definitely sus. He's definitely weird around Sarah. He definitely ignored all of Julie trying to riz him and spit game at him. Like that went way over his head. Like Julie was like, I've never seen you here. We got to stop meeting like this. And he just missed it. I do have theories about Elgin. I'm going to get into them. This one is a big, leads into a bigger theory of mine. And it's probably, I don't want to do a disservice just by throwing you a piece of it. So I'm gonna get into that later. I'd like to see you in an interview with Harold. Me too, we folk. Me too. I hope you subscribe, please. Help me. What else we got? Oh, and give this video a like. What do we have? Like 40 some odd people in here. Please, I'm gonna check this out. I haven't looked. I hope there's like 50 likes on the video. Everything is a big help. That's another question. Why only Sarah? Okay, that's another question. Why only Sarah? So 3 people have seen The Boy in White: Victor, Sarah, and Ethan. No, 4 people have seen The Boy in White. Tabitha saw The Boy in White before she got pushed out the window. Weird that Elgin was listening to the same song that was in Boyd's dream. What song? What dream? Which dream are you talking about? Bitey, you dropping some jewels here. You dropping some jewels, but what dream? Which one are you talking about? That was real. Yeah, it was rude of him. He should have. You see somebody sitting in there in church by themselves. Like if I'm in church by myself, sitting in a pew, looking all solemn, I want to be left alone. Yeah, you're right. Appreciate you, Gothic chick. Yes, Tabitha did see The Boy in White. Man. Let's see. I'm gonna skip ahead a little bit. Thrice great. Elgin and the old woman from the bus are equally sus. Everybody gets on Tilly. Everybody gets on Tilly. I need more. I need more. Tilly supports another one of my smaller theories about the role-based characters, and it feels like Tilly is, so we saw Tilly, she's like definitely, she's an older woman. She knows that she's, I think she has like some sort of cancer. She was traveling around with morphine. Um she's an experienced woman. She's talked about having multiple children and being able to identify Fatima's pregnancy, but she's also a religious person. And with the role-based characters, one thing I noticed was like when the bartender died, Jade kind of became the new bartender. Now that Father Khatri is gone, it kind of feels like Tilly could be the new spiritual leader. She was seen in Colony House leading people in prayer. So I'm I'm going to need more before I put Tilly on my sus list. Right now it feels like she's a little aloof, but I need more to really just think whether or not she's sus. I'd be more sus of Dale. Ain't nobody sus of Dale. My man stabbed Ellis. He's sus. How about him? All right. Yeah, Bitey the lighthouse. Yeah, Bitey the lighthouse. When Boyd was in the well, he dreamed he was ringing the bell. Hard rain is going to fall. Bob Dylan. Okay. Yeah, when Boyd fell asleep in the well. I gotta play that back. I didn't know if that was literally what Elgin was listening to or if they were doing creative video editing with the episode. Like, was it a transition from Boyd in the well straight to Elgin on his headphones? I gotta go back. So you give me food for, you know what? This is going in the notebook. Hard Rain by Bob Dylan. I'm gonna look into this. Played when Boyd was in the well, and also Elgin's headphones. I'm sorry, you guys get to watch me write. This is from Bitey at YouTube. All right. If I use this, you're going to get credit, Bitey. Again, I appreciate you all. Look, we working together, right? We need to do this together. This is not a one-man show. All right. So if I happen to use this in like a future video, I'll be sure to make sure you get credit, Bitey. Thank you. Let's see. Yeah, I noticed too. Bitey must have some relevance to the plot of the show, maybe because like the music is also like a joke. Like they play music to complement the scene, but it also is a little bit of the soundtrack. So as clever as I think these writers are, I'm challenged to believe that every single thing they do is a clue. I think some of it is also just to serve the mood and the narrative of the TV show and traditional storytelling. But I'm curious about that one. Let's see. I haven't really looked into Dale that much. I'm gonna watch him in season 3 for sure. Look, Dale has been weird, right? He's always negative. We're in a pocket universe. He was the one antagonizing Ellis, talking about how Ellis is going to go crazy and go psycho like his mom. And then he accidentally stabbed Ellis all the way in with a knife. Like, first off, when you accidentally swing around a knife, who thrusts forward? Is that a natural thing? Like, oh. Any part? He's sus. He's sus. I don't need credits. Just look, man. It's just kind of how I roll. I appreciate you though, Bitey. Oh, did I reach the bottom? Oh, I think I reached the bottom. All right. We're 2 hours in. I think that we touched on a lot way more than I thought we were going to touch on. Again, for all of you guys who are new here, I appreciate y'all. For all of you guys who joined me in or followed me from the live with Teflon, with E-Man, and those other YouTubers, I appreciate you all. You guys obviously noticed I was suspiciously quiet throughout most of that live. It's because I couldn't talk about what they were talking about. Like I knew. But I do want to do lives like this where we talk about theories, we look back on seasons 1 and 2, and we just have some fun. Appreciate you all for checking me out on a Monday. Look, I hope you all enjoy the rest of your Monday. You spend some time with your loved ones and you just have a good time. And if you're not already doing it, hey, from season 2, I don't know if it's like this for everybody, but for some reason it's on Prime. I don't know what happened. They just said season 1 was going to go away the day it was supposed to go away. Pow! Season 2 and 1 was still there. So here's your chance. If you haven't watched it in a while, you can rewatch it if you have Amazon Prime. Seasons 1 and 2 are there. I know I'm going to finish a little bit more of my season 2 rewatch, and I'm going to come back here in a few days, maybe in about a week's time, and we get to do this again. Anyway, that's all I have for this one. I hope you guys come back again. Otherwise, I'm going to check you all later. Peace, y'all.